Well, now that we're 23 minutes in,
30
start this
on
bitch.
my screen. I've been streaming for half an hour, and literally nothing has happened.
It's all good.
All right, you good?
Yup.
Yup. Well then, let's fucking do it. League and
I.
stuff. Episode 2. Welcome.
Number 2.
Episode 2. When the
I
fuck did
number
we?
2.
When the fuck did we get ice cream? Uh, there is no ice cream. Not here. This is a no fun zone. So we're back after the royal fiesta that was the 2-day planning and 12-hour execution of week 1 / preseason preview, all in the same time frame. And it was awful, and I never want to do it again. And I said last time, I am not going to waste my time preparing all in 1 or 2 days. And guess what I did? I did it again. And I'm tired, and I haven't slept, like, at all. So, this weekend,
That's alright.
week 3 is going to be the week. I'm watching it live. I'm taking notes. It's going to happen.
I'll be at work.
Yikes. So, I'm planning on doing this pending my friends' schedules, because Colin, once again, I asked him, what are you doing Thursday? He said, I don't know. I'm like, okay, cool. Matt and I are going to do this thing. And he said, great. I'll see what I'm doing if I'm not busy. And then you all played Apex Legends all night, and I went to bed because I was tired of waiting. And I wasn't completely ready anyways. But I was dead fucking tired after watching week 2, day 2 of the LCS for 6 hours. And
yeah, it took me like 12 hours to watch day 2 because I watched like 2 games and then slept for like 6 hours, then watched the rest.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, so I was just too tired.
That's what League does.
But
just puts me to sleep.
okay, and well, we can talk about that because I made the notes in my week 1 patch, or the week 1 settings or whatever.
A lot of games
notes.
were just super boring.
It was just resident sleeper through and through. I wish I would stop dropping frames. Friends, my roommates need to get off the internet.
Same.
Okay, so yeah, it was bad last week, and it's gonna be better now, but it's okay. We can do it. Week 2 was a little bit better than week 1. It was less of a shit show, I think, and things are starting to finally clarify themselves. But it's like there's a first place team, there's a couple second or third place teams, and then there's like 5 more teams, and then there's Golden Guardians.
Yep.
That's
absolutely.
That's the LCS right now. And so it's getting better. We're getting there. There's a lot of rookies that need to figure out what's going on in their lives, but it's progress. Case in point, CLG. They're figuring out.
Yeah, they're going through some shit, but for themselves this week.
The week 1 was, in my opinion, god awfully slow, and part of the problem with that, why I think it was so slow, is because there was about a 36 to 44 hour period where I just watched all LCS and everything related to the LCS, and I just got really bored, and I was tired of League for about a day and a half. And this week, I think, started off a little bit better because we had the introduction game that was Echo Fox and TSM, where there was, let me do some math, 43 kills in one game, which is like more than the next 4 games combined.
Yep.
And it was a really high octane game, a lot of energy, a lot of like a lot of combat in between the two teams, but it was like really slow at the same time.
But it was fun.
I mean, yeah, you could say that. I had. I say it's slow because in this meta, the patch that we're on, the way everything is going right now, Ezreal just has to get 2 fully stacked tier items and farm for 30 minutes. And then after that,
Ezreal's the new Nasus.
Yes, Ezreal is the new Nasus, where he just goes to a lane and he just farms. And then late game, like, oh shit, he does a lot of damage because he has 4 items and is 1-0-3 or something stupid low score like that. And it happens. And that's exactly what Sven did the whole game. Like, he just left. Like, he left the team. And, like, the one note I made about Sven, which he didn't make any appearance in my notes until, like, my second or third to last bullet point, and I made, like, 15 out of this game. It was just Sven AFK farm 30 minutes. That's all I had. And that was my last bullet point of the game. And then it went to, I had a point of the post-game interview and then a stat after the game of what Sven did in-game, which was apparently tons of damage. He did something like 1440 damage per minute, and he did 42% of the team's damage, which means that there was nothing going on with the team. They were just skirmishing and, like, hanging out, and then Sven would show up after he stacked a tier item and just WEQ. Throw in a couple auto attacks, 2 people are almost dead, and then that they just reset. I'm really not surprised by TSM winning that game, I don't think. I think Echo Fox did a lot that they needed to like, shut down TSM in the early game. Like, they focused heavily on Broken Blade. And, like, that was one of the points that I made, is that, like, TSM really needs to play around Broken Blade because he is really good. He has a lot of carry potential. He kind of reminds me of, like, an older Huni, where, like, he could really pop off and he can do really well. Yep. But if you put him in the dirt and you shut him down early, then it's going to be a long, rough game. And they did that. Echo Fox did do that. They actually controlled him very well in the early game, especially when he's on a champion like Aatrox. Well, he wasn't, but not in that game at least. But it was really good for Broken Blade, because he managed to get stomped early, but he held on long enough for Sven to do his thing and win the game. Awkward pause.
Yes.
I've been talking for like 6 minutes. This is the point where you come in and say something.
Well, like reading things.
Oh.
Big butts.
All right. Hey, that's
Rip.
Eric.
Welcome to League and Stuff, Eric.
All right, bye, Eric.
And bye, Eric. Cool.
I can't even move him to this channel.
Oh, hold on. Go.
Wait, yes, I can. Don't think you can just do that. I
Did
have
I get
power.
drug back?
I have power here. Welcome to episode 2 of League and Stuff. What do you have to say about last week's LCS games?
Yep.
I have nothing.
All right, that was the interview by a robot. So thank you for joining us, robot, and
Beep boop.
I'll bring you in next week. See ya.
Beep bop.
What a fucking idiot. That was our first visitor on.
Yo, what's up?
That was the first visitor that we've had on the show. It's a monumental occasion. I'm flattered to have
Big butts.
such fans. I didn't think that
Nailed
we'd
it.
make it this big already. So shout out to all you guys. Also, I did say that Addison would time out Eric for 10 minutes because he doesn't know how to time people out for any other time, and that's exactly what happened. Thanks,
Opa.
Addison. Thanks, Addison.
Nailed it.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
like Echo Fox CSM game was. I mean, it was a good game. I think it was kind of a fiesta for a while, but I mean, to be honest, each team played their strengths. They did what they needed to do, and TSM. I mean, it won.
It was
It comes down to the decision making and leadership between Bjergsen and the rest of the team, compared to Echo Fox, where they're still trying to mesh together their playmakers and their leaders. Like TSM's had Bjergsen there the entire time. Yeah, we've had change here and there, but like they know what's going on. Both teams know what's going on. But in the long run, 40 minutes in, TSM, well, plus 4 dragons and barons, that ought to do it.
Yeah. One of the notes that I did make of that game was that Bjergsen got fed GG. Because Bjergsen was really big early and kind of carried him through the early game. But I think the most important fact, I saw a tweet of this, and I don't remember where it was, but it was like something along the lines of TSM played in a 43 kill game where Sven didn't die. It was like,
Yeah,
that's crazy that there was something where there was so many kills and deaths and your ADC didn't die at all. So he had a huge bounty primarily, and also he did tons of damage, but it was really good on his part to just do what he has to do as an ADC and deal all the damage. There was a lot of contest between the two teams. There was a lot of objective control, and like one of the turning points of the game was of Acadian, who was on Nocturne, and for whatever reason, Echo Fox had a really weird draft, I think, where they chose 3 picks. That was the first 3 picks of Ornn, Aatrox, and Jace. And it's, I mean, you could get a pretty good idea based on the meta of where each one of those are going, but it was just a really weird first round of drafting that I don't think was conducive to good team play as far as like what they can do to their strengths. Like Aatrox is just a really good pick because he's really strong. Jace is a little weird because it's North America, and North America Jace is a meme for a good reason. And then Ornn is just there, but Acadian on his Nocturne was able to like completely. There was a fighter on Baron in Baron River, and Ornn ulted to engage on TSM, and Acadian pressed R, and TSM had a really good synergy where all like it was 3 or 4 of them all walked from the Baron pit towards the west side blue buff, and like Acadian just pressed R, and it's pitch black, and Ornn has no vision whatsoever, but he can only assume that the team is now engaging through that choke point, so he's going to launch his ult straight back to where it came from, and where theoretically TSM would be coming to, but all of TSM rotated to the side towards the blue buff, and as soon as Ornn's ult went by, they all went back around and then engaged and won the fight, and it was like a huge engage, and it was a really good play by Acadian. And then TSM just rolled it from there, because Sven does, like I said, he did oodles and oodles of damage. I now see a flaw in my note-taking as well, that I don't exactly note who plays what champion in each game.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
So I, like, don't really know who Broken Blade was playing on that game into.
He was Irelia.
Was he Irelia? Into Solo's Aatrox.
Yep.
But, like, Aurelia, okay, so Aurelia in a choke point already is a really good champion. Again, especially with a Nocturne that's engaging, a Sven Ezreal that's just poking the whole time, and a good placed R from Aurelia, and that team fight is just over. So I had to give that game's MVP to Sven because the dude just, I mean, Acadian made a huge play for them, but the Sven was the whole reason they won that game in the end. If you don't do damage, then you're not going to get the kills, you're not going to push it down.
Yep. Next.
Which I think is why TSM's on the rise. But that's, yeah, question mark. And then we got to follow up with the Cloud9 game against 10th place.
Cloud9 against the
Golden Guardians.
first team.
So, my first bullet point of this game is Draven with about 34 A's and 17 E's. Because I was just really excited to see another ADC besides the two that we've seen. And it almost worked. It really would have worked for Golden Guardians. But the problem was he had a... definitely had about... Like, in the FlyQuest game, when Wild Turtle played Draven, they had about the same amount of Adoration stacks where they would have cashed in about 1,200 to 1,400 gold.
Yep.
But the problem was definitely never cashed in. Not once. I'm pretty sure he ended that game like 0-4-3.
0-1-2.
0-1-2. Even, yeah. Which would have been, at the time, it would have been a huge swing for Golden Guardians. Like, but I think they were already down like 6,000 or 7,000 gold at the first real opportunity he got to cash in. So it probably wouldn't have made a whole lot of difference, but it's still like almost another 2,000 gold in the pocket of one person, and that's almost half an item, or that's at least half an item depending on what you're building. But it was really unfortunate that it didn't work out for him. Cloud9 had like a super heavy poke comp where Golden Guardians was just like, we're either going to kite you out forever and do damage, or we're just going to pick you off and run you down.
That's what they did. I mean, shit, they won 12-4.
Yeah, it was...
Lickers didn't die. Niski didn't die. Guys all didn't die. That's
Sneaky
a lot.
died once. Like,
Sneaky died once.
And Sven died the other 3 times.
Yeah.
Reported for feeding.
Which, honestly, like, he's... Like I notated for last week, when he played Camille with the poke comp, did his job. He's the engage. He's the sole engage. If he dies, you know what? That's okay. Last week, it wasn't okay because nobody did anything after the fact.
Yeah.
This week, they were able to get kills. So, he's still doing his job. He's not the reason they lost.
It was another game of an Ezreal that just disappeared. Or Sneaky
1-1-4 with 270 farm.
He just disappeared and was just farming to build his tier stacks. Draven was just building his Adoration stacks.
Items.
And there was, like, the game was really close up for about the first 15 minutes, and then a fight broke out, and Cloud9 just ran away with it. They had the biggest point of this game was the fact that, and my MVP of this game was Vision. 100%, that was just it. Like, there was a point where they were showing Fog of War in the, like, from the Golden Guardians perspective, and they were in their base trying to leave, basically down to either tier 2 or inhibitor towers, and everything was just dark. Like, they could not venture anywhere into any bush because there was no vision at all. And C9 really used that advantage to rotate and to take objectives and towers, and it was just they just outplayed them. Which shows why Vision's important. Buy wards, kids.
Vision is... I notated that because I'm trying to better on that myself, like analyzing what's going on LCS in Vision, comparing it. Like at the end of the game, which is 30 minutes here, everybody but since Garen has at least one pink ward in their inventory, and they have 3 on the map right now. 4 on the map right now.
At the end of the game,
that's crazy.
Like while they were on the on the Nexus towers and the Nexus itself, they still had 4 people with a pink ward in the inventory. Like 2 of them had 2. 3 people had a sweeper, and then there was a blue trinket, and then the top still had the initial trinket. And it's like that. It was an absurd amount of vision control, and it was really impressive. And that's why Vision got my MVP of that game, because it was just like Zazal was doing a really good job at sweeping with Zazal and Svenskeren both.
Yeah, he had a 60 Vision score.
Yeah, which is pretty good. Not the best I saw all weekend, but it's pretty up there. And it's like pretty standard for a support to get at least like 55, 65, 75, upwards of 80, depending on how long the game goes. And there's a point I'll bring out later in a different game about vision control itself. That wasn't this one. But this was the most notorious game where vision really made the difference between winning and losing this game. Because Cloud9 had the vision, and they did everything they could.
I noticed one myself where it solely showed the difference in why the team won, regardless of plays.
Addison's texting me from the grave.
What game is after that?
Thank you, Addison. It was 100 and Team Liquid, which was my game of the week last week. Based on the bot lane.
Yep.
And it almost delivered. Almost. Addison, thank you for your support of my streaming career. I appreciate that. But this game, the bot lane was almost explicitly what I wanted in a matchup between Bang and Afro and Double Lift and Core JJ. Double Lift said in his interview last week it's going to be super easy because it's it's Core JJ versus Afromu, which isn't even close. And he's not wrong. Afromu is good. My roommate just said that Afromu was trash tonight, that he would take Zazal over Afromu, and Afromu is one of the worst supports in the league.
Tilted.
And I was like, are really? Like, you're gonna... Boy. I was like, I had to stop. I was like, "You's trolling," and he's like, "I'm not trolling."
And regardless of like being,
butsy, you see, now someone's triggered.
Kind of one-sided. I mean, Liquid finished the game with 4 drags, up, 6, 8 kills. How much gold? Hell.
So
10K.
Yeah.
10K in gold. Compare on the other side. Vision. They're all Vision.
They're all what?
Yeah, it's like Vision scores.
Yeah.
Across the line. They're all within 5. The opposite team. And that's wild.
Yeah.
But 1,000 bounty on Double Lift. He probably had that for the last 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. So
that's something.
Double Lift had a huge week 1 where he had like an immaculate KDA, his damage per minute, and his CS advantage at 15 minutes versus Bangs, where he had a pretty good KDA, an okay damage per minute, and his CS advantage was half of that of Double Lift's. But that's also dependent on the champions they played. And also, Team Liquid is a lot more gung-ho, and they said it in some interviews where they were like, we're not afraid to get our hands dirty and do, like, engage into, like, fights and stuff, but they are also really efficient at what they do, and they're not just going to blindly go into a fight that they might lose. Like, they know for a fact that they're going to win the fight. And I think the first engage from Double Lift onto Bang an Afro in the bot lane. It was a Zaya Rakan combo, I think, wasn't it?
Probably.
That double lift and Core JJ were playing. I'm pretty sure it was.
Oh yeah.
Because it was like, and Double Lift said after the game, he's like, I was really confused as to why Bang would just walk into my feathers and walk into the root, but he's like, I was just gonna take it. And like after all the hype that was surrounding this matchup between Double Lift and Bang, that as soon as he got that first blood kill and got out, and it was a 1-for-0 trade, and it worked really well, that Double Lift was just rolling. He got pumped after that one kill, and it just snowballed from there. And it absolutely showed, because they dominated that bot lane after that. It was not a competition at all. And I think at the end of the game, it was like Double Lift had like 100 CS advantage or something insane over Bang.
110.
Yeah.
111.
Which,
you want to be
just should not happen. But also
Granted,
should not happen.
Bang shouldn't be on a fucking mage.
Bang should not be on Victor. That as soon as I put... So I had 3 notes of champion select. First off, in all caps, I called it. I said Yorick would be a good pickup, and nobody listened. Thanks, Prawley, for listening. Because it's now...
Someday played it really well.
He did. And that's another thing that I added at the end of it. Everyone in this meta right now is running like a 1-3-1 composition where they have a champion top and mid lane that has the capability to just run it down a lane and split for a while. Or a 1-1-3 or something to that effect. And they had that. And I think the great thing about Yorick, especially now, is that you have the option to make it like a 1-4-1 or a 1-5, which doesn't make sense. Yeah. But you have the Maiden, and that's almost an entire another champion that you have with you. On top of the sustain it gives Yorick, like, it's a huge advantage to have. It's almost like having a Mordekaiser with a dragon. Like...
Right.
It's a huge advantage. No one's going to see Mordekaiser in professional play, but... And then the third point I had was, it was bold to let Liquid have Zaya Rakan, because, like, it's 2 champions that already synergize extremely well, and you're going to give it to the best AD carry in North America and the best support in North America. Yep. It's like, it's a silver platter that you just gave them. And then that went into...
And then to...
Why is Victor bottom?
Yeah, I don't.
Like, I understood.
I don't even understand why some teams are playing at top.
That's another. I brought that up later in one of my games. I was like, I understood, and Prawley said after the game, like, he tweeted that it was a bold pick for them to play Yorick, and it was a risk that they were trying to take, and it worked out really for 100 Thieves. The Yorick pick worked. But the thing I put on this is, why is Victor bottom? What level of Korean bullshit is Prawley trying to pull against the North American god Lift and the best North American support in Core JJ? Like, why is this happening? This is not... Like, you want your ADC that's a 2-time world champion against the king of North America that they hyped this up to be, and you put him on a mage? Yikes. Yikes. I mean, I could talk about this bot lane of this game this entire time. Like, that's the whole thing I could talk about in this.
I want to see this game, probably, week 9, week 10? Somewhere around there.
There's only 9 weeks.
Thinking football here. That's half.
There are 9 weeks, and they play
like week 5.
In week 5.
Yeah, so week 5.
So 2 weeks from now.
Kind of see where the meta's at, see what's going on. I want to see these bot lanes play, ADCs, 2 supports, and just absolutely go at it.
Yep.
I think that's where the hype is, and see where the rest of the team falls in. Obviously, with the way things have gone, he is not playing well, in my opinion. Anda's questionably playing well. Some days doing his thing, but together as a whole, they're not meshing very well. And on the flip side, Team Liquid is just absolutely stomping everyone.
Yeah, there's no.
But I feel like, every team, except for maybe Golden Guardians, has a chance to look really strong, stay that way once they get accustomed to each other. I want to see 100 Thieves grow, learn more about each other, get meshed together, and take this second matchup with Team Liquid and actually bring the fight, because I didn't do it for me on Saturday.
No, it was not that great. It was really entertaining to watch Team Liquid because, they manhandled 100 Thieves realistically, and the thing I noted was that at some point at any given time, Liquid, Impact would engage into what's kind of like a non-favorable fight, or Jensen would engage to what seemed like he was outnumbered or something to that effect, and then Xmithy would show up, and another person would show up. Core JJ would show up, and it's like it turns a 2v1 or a 3v2 into a 3v3, 3v4 favorable in Team Liquid, and it's like they are everywhere on the map, and they're just they didn't lose fights. They might have lost a couple people in the fight, but they seemed to win every single team fight that they got into. And I think the draft of the game is what won Liquid. I mean, I think they had a better team composition. Probably in 100 Thieves on their back foot, starting 0-2 and playing against the number one, handily the number one team in North America. They had to try something, and they did. They did try something. They tried Yorick and Victor Bot, and it didn't work, but they had to do it. And Double Lift even said, when I said that Double Lift was probably snowballing off the excitement of that first blood kill, where it was just a 2v2 outplay, Double Lift said in his interview after the game with Avali, he's like, it was pretty over after he died one time. And he's like, Bang did not seem very good at Victor, and he thought he would play Ezreal since it was open, which is kind of weird because every other team's playing Ezreal or wants to play Ezreal. So I don't know why they didn't. And I felt bad for Someday, because he was doing a lot on that Yorick pick. It just didn't work out for him.
350 farm.
Yeah. And then the Maiden just split push.
Yeah.
And top laners, the good transition point, my MVP of this next game, the 0-2 against the 2-0 FlyQuest CLG. And Darshan got my MVP this game. And this is the point where the first point was like, oh boy, another Draven. This is exciting. And I really hope he does better than Deathly. And he did.
Hold up, what now?
FlyQuest and CLG? The next game?
Can't read.
The one after 100 Thieves and Team Liquid?
Yep, that's the one. Looking for game 3 here, because I can read. Yep.
There it is. Yeah, Darshan, I gave the MVP that game. Are you tracking me now? You find out where game 3 is?
Yep,
Okay.
got it.
Okay.
Well, it's game 4 now.
Is that game 4? Oh, you're right. It was game
Yep.
4. Okay, my bad. I'm dumb.
Same.
Yeah, I gave Darshan the MVP this game. And I was really excited for Turtle to play Draven.
But, as we already talked, it's 45 minutes, he has 450 farm, and he has 1 kill.
Yep. Which is the
You
difference.
can't have 1 kill with Draven.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work.
Which was the difference between him and Deathly, is that Draven managed to cash in, and he cashed in on a 3v1 pick in the jungle while the rest of his team was getting slaughtered in top underneath tier 2 tower. It just so happened that on the way up to the team fight, they found someone, and were like, oh, well, thank you. I will take this 1,500 gold, and I will go the other way.
Also, throughout this game, Poe Belter looked not bueno at Syndra.
He was
Dude
doing...
couldn't hit a stun.
he did very well at farming. He had a huge CS advantage. But he was just, yeah. It was another one of those games where, like, it's just like, you find anything you can to talk about, but at the end of the day, Darshan was just waiting to get some health to scale.
Yep.
Once he's got a stone plate and his warmogs, and it was just, all right, well, Darshan's not going to die. He has 12,000 health. Cool. Next. And Ezreal was bot lane farming and building tier stacks. Okay, great. And it was a game that, like, Counter Logic was waiting for the end of the game to come around because that's all they could do is to scale. And Viper was doing really well. I gave a lot of praise to Viper last week and thinking that he could hold his own and do his thing and let the rest of the team carry them. And he was doing that for the most part. Kind of weird that he ended up going 0-4, but he did most everything he could. Was he on Aurelia or Victor that game?
He was on neither.
Neither? I thought he was. Who did he play into Sion?
He was Aatrox.
Oh. Which is even weirder that he died 4 times on Aatrox against a Sion. For some reason, I'm thinking of a different game where, like, there was just... I don't remember who it was, but it was just Sion running it down over a Victor. And he was just getting solo kills, and it was just not fair. And I thought it was this game. But Viper did a lot of what he could. He built up a huge bounty for himself. He had a 1,000 gold bounty. And FlyQuest had a huge gold lead for most all of the game. Until like the last 4 minutes, where CLG just got, 4 or 5 more kills. Picked up a bunch of bounties, a bunch of objectives, and then just ran it down and won the game. He really wasn't... Like, CLG did very well in making it to late game, because that's exactly what their team composition needed. Sion needed to scale up his health. Ezreal needed to build his stacks. And that's exactly what they managed to do. But it was just a little edgy
Holy
for
moly.
CLG.
Looking at Vision, since Port Main over here.
Loser.
End of the game, 48 minutes. JJ has 140 Vision score.
Yeah, Core JJ's a god.
Biofrost, that's...
Or
no,
not Core JJ,
that's
but
JJ.
Yeah, JJ, not Core.
Biofrost has 110. That is insane.
Yeah, I did notice. I think there was a game that there was another person like that had over 100 Vision score, and I did notice JJ. I didn't see who it was. I think in this game, but I do. Now that you say that, I do remember seeing someone that was like they had an insanely high Vision score.
Yeah.
And in a game that
even
long,
Wiggly has 80. A jungler.
in a game that long, and now that I remember, you say that. Now I remember that the jungler in another game had a higher Vision score than literally everyone else, and I'll get to that later.
Yep.
And that was a huge question mark for me. I was like, what the fuck? Why? How's that? Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, that was 50 minutes of FlyQuest, or 46 minutes of FlyQuest winning, and 4 minutes of CLG winning a team fight and winning the game.
Yep. But you know what? They did it.
But they did it. And
They did it right.
I'm not going to complain about that because #FaithAge.
Rip.
And then
And probably the most boring game of the day.
keeping it in the top lane, the Dokla made his first appearance. And I gave him the MVP of this game. Because he did a lot of damage. He did a fourth of his damage, of the team's damage. And he had an immaculate lead over, who'd they play? Optic?
Yep.
He had a huge lead over Huni. Like, it was...
Well, that's CG. Words are hard.
Yeah.
Optic.
Optic and
Yes.
CG, yeah.
Yeah,
Not
Huni is not
Origin.
playing well.
Not Origin. It was another game where it was
I think.
in a Jace, lol. So
Yep. True.
they followed up.
Crown got the counter pick.
Yeah.
Rumble mid, baby.
Yeah.
Never would have thought I'd see that.
It was like the
Dude,
second
played it.
time in LCS history that they'd had a Rumble mid against an Akali or something like that. And it was like 1-0 in favor of Akali, but now new Akali. Rumble wins that.
That was 2-0.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's
I can't
1-1.
read. Kali still won the lane.
Yeah, Akali did. And I think Clutch had a good draft in the sense that they had a good pick composition, assuming Huni gets ahead. Like, Jace is extremely dependent on early game, where he gets ahead, builds some lethality, gets a Duskblade or a Youmuu's or something. Tier Jace isn't really relevant anymore, but like if Jace can hold his own and or get ahead, then he's set up very well. But something happened in where Dokla made his, like, there was a team fight on their jungle, and Dokla made his way down and ended up getting a triple kill to as a cleanup crew, got a triple kill, and it was over from there. Like, Huni, maybe not explicitly his fault, but didn't stand a chance against a 3-0 lane opponent. Like, it's like, what you there's nothing you can do about that. I didn't have a lot of notes for this game because, like you said, it was really boring. But the biggest point that I take away from this game is that Dokla quoted, "They had a visa issue, but Arrow is coming back next week." And I can't wait to talk about that and the effect that he's going to have.
Yeah, that'll be nice. I'm looking forward to seeing Arrow back.
So I didn't do very well on my predictions of day 1. I went 2-3, but day 2 I did a lot
I
better.
didn't do any.
I went 4-1 on day 2, so I'll take that.
Cool. Day 2.
Day 2. So last place versus 100 Thieves. Obviously, I picked 100 Thieves, but it was a lot closer than it should have been.
Yep.
And this, I think, was the highlight game of the weekend, where like Someday made the Baron plays of his life. Like he
did.
Like, it wasn't even just the Baron steal that is going to get all the accolades and all the replays and has the huge value of it, but like he went in after his team decided that they wanted to die mid lane. He went in like 1v3 or 1v4 while Golden Guardians was doing Baron and managed to do enough poke damage to get them off of it. And then they locked. 100 Thieves did another thing where they all decided they wanted to die. And that's the follow-up then to Someday's incredible Baron steal of the century. But you mentioned that Onda was, doing exceptionally mediocre earlier, and I gave him a lot of credit in this game because Nocturne was level 3 at like 8 minutes in this game. Like, Onda just bullied Contracts and stole all of his camps and just kept abusing him. And poor Contracts, he was like level 3 at 8 minutes. And it's like, you can't. As a Nocturne especially, like, you just want level 6, because at that point everyone is now afraid as soon as it turns dark and you hear Nocturne laughing and like, oh shit, where is he? I think this was another pretty boring game, though. As far as...
Yeah.
Like, up until the point where it was... both of them... Like, 100 Thieves had a lot of momentum the whole game. And then, in about a 9 or 10 minute time span, they lost 2 team fights, stole a Baron, and then just kind of finally finished the game. Like, they did a lot to throw.
What I noticed in this game and in the second one for Golden Guardians, nobody has said a damn thing about Froggen being back in the NA. Because he hasn't done a damn thing. Like, he shows up playing. I mean, he's still a good lane player, but he has not shown up as the leader and playmaker that we used to know. And I think that's what's killing Golden Gardens. And I hate to say it because I really want him to succeed. I like Froggen a lot. He's very talented. But he hasn't done one thing to do anything. And honestly, he made who he look really good in this game.
Yep.
The last 3-4 games that who he's played hadn't played well at all.
They just need Aurelion Sol to
Here he
come
is,
back into the
6
meta.
and 3. True. But I mean, Froggen's not playing well. Honestly, Ole did really good on.
He did.
What's her face? Soraka.
Soraka, which was,
that was really
an interesting
impressive.
choice.
I think both of them played really well against Afromoon Bang in lane. I don't know. It sucks to see this kind of team where there's a lot of talent and they just suck as a team.
There's so many high caliber players and good names on this team.
Yeah.
And for some reason it's just not clicking yet.
Yep.
I feel like once it
I have
does,
faith.
it'll be a decent team. I don't think they'll be like competing for Team Liquid, but I do think they have the capability to make at least a run in the to be
Playoff
in the
run,
playoffs. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think in that game, like definitely in all I did, decently enough for the whole team just kind of not being very good in general. But like Bang was preceding one of the Baron inting, that 1v3 that Someday did to stop Golden Guardians from doing Baron. Bang was like, there was just a really well positioned and really smart play from Bang where he was over a wall just throwing out Qs and auto attacks onto Ole and Deathly, where neither one of them could hit him, but he was still dishing out a ton of damage. And he actually went in after like 2 or 3 of his teammates died. He E'd back over the wall to get into the fight, killed off Ole, and then ended up killing Deathly with the red buff burn. But like that made a huge difference in that Baron fight, because had Deathly still been alive and that last tick of the red buff burn didn't kill him, that would have been a totally different play for Someday. And Golden Guardians potentially just could have finished the Baron and won the game from there. But Bang made a really good play, a really smart play, and Bang went off. I mean, he finished that game 6-1 and 8. Like, you can't. That was probably like the highest kill Ezreal, aside from Sven's, that showed up this weekend. Their bot lane's good. 100 Thieves is. And like you said, I can't wait for that rematch between them and Double Lift and Afro, or Core JJ. I look forward to that.
For sure.
They're starting to get there. They are. I mean, Bang did like 44% of the team's damage in that game. Like, that's stupid.
All right. Boring game number 2.
Boring game number 2. And you can tell it's boring because my MVP was the jungler. Because why? He had objective control. The jungler did his job, and that's why he got MVP.
Weird.
That's bad.
3 dragons. 10-2. Ouch. That's also a reason why I dropped Optic. And I feel bad for Optic. I mean, shit, they're playing one player that's supposed to be on there. But I think Echo Fox finally showed up. Also, oh my god, my boy Hakuho fucking killed it.
Hakuho is so good.
Oh my god.
This was one of the
I don't
games
know
I
how many
watched live.
times in this game where I said, holy fucking shit, Hakuho's a god. I said MVP Thresh because he hooked everyone at insane plays, didn't die.
Yep.
And, also, got a kill with Redemption.
Yep. On my... This was the game I did watch live. It was one of the 2. Yep. It was Super Bowl Sunday, so I had to watch that. But I was, like, in my live tweets, like, I was just praising Hakuho the whole time. And when I went back and watched the game again, I wasn't as impressed. with what he did. He still did extremely well, but like a lot of it was just what Thresh does.
Right.
But he just happened to do it really well.
He did it really well, and I can agree, kind of your MVP, with objective control. I mean, Jesus Christ, they had 6 dragons. The team had 6 Ornn upgrades, and I again said 6. What the fuck?
Yeah. Like
6 dragons and 6 Ornn upgrades. Holy shit.
Had this game gone on another like 4 or 5 minutes and an Elder Dragon spawned,
I would have hurt.
There's no way that Optic would have even had a dream of a chance.
Nope.
In this game, because that's absurd. Like that was another thing that I posted is like as soon as I saw that the next dragon to spawn was still an elemental, and I was like, 6 drag, you can do that? Like, I've never seen a game where they had 6 elemental dragons spawn. Like it just does not happen. That first dragon always takes so long that you only ever manage to get 5, at most. And then there's so much else going on around the map that, like, even 5 is an impressive feat. But they got 6. And I think the most you can get, actually, is 7. Like, assuming that you get first dragon on spawn and every other dragon almost exactly when it spawns. Like, I think there's, like, a 10 or 15-second window. But I think at most you can get 7. Since they made the dragon's timers changed.
Yeah.
So, that was a huge, like... huge advantage that Fox had, where Rush was just always there.
Rush was always on that, and for my opinion, Haku was literally everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
His first, assist was literally flashing into top lane. I think it was top lane, and flaying him back with 2 people, and they got 2 kills instantly. It's like easy. They didn't even have to try. And he did that like 3 times. 2-0 and 8. Killed it. Flash hooks, flash flays. Redemption kills. Hell yeah. 97 vision score at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And a 36-minute game.
Yeah.
That's some good shit.
Like, it was... I gave a lot of credit to Echo Fox and the control of this game. I did say that, like, as far as it goes, it was a clean game, more or less. As far as objectives goes, like, it could not virtually get any cleaner than that. All they did was farm and get dragons, and they got Baron, and they won the game. So overall, it's kind of boring, but...
Right, but, I mean...
They did it. They had a win condition where they're like, we'll get dragons, we'll scale, we'll get a Baron buff, and then we'll win. I was like, all right, well...
Thresh kill baby, hashtag gate sucks.
That's
funny.
That was it.
Bot lane's bad.
Bot lane's bad.
Next, this game is the game that I thought was going to be weak. Honestly, I
could see
kind
that.
of surprised myself as it came back up. In retrospect, yes, I still have FlyQuest as number 2. TL is 1, but this game I thought was going to be the kind of bigger brawl.
I thought this game would be better than it was.
But it wasn't.
I was happy to see another new ADC come out. Since they banned like 4 ADCs between the 2 teams. Impact and Huni both were doing well. Impact was doing better. He had a 25 CS lead at 15 minutes, which is not good for a top laner. That sucks when you're down, even 2 waves. Even if you're down 10 to 12 CS, that's bad for a top laner. But he was down 4 whole waves of CS. And one of the notes that I made in this game as to why Liquid is still really good and why I didn't know, my MVP for this game was Jensen, Xmithy. I don't know. They all did well. Jensen won fights. Yeah. Xmithy had all the control.
Right.
I didn't know who to give this game because Team Liquid plays so well as a team that one person would start it, and then a couple people would execute well through the middle of the fight, and then a couple people at the end of the fight would clean everything up. And it's everyone is doing their part, and I can't differentiate as to who did what the best.
Yeah. So my first note from the game, was that early game Xmithy level 2 gank, with getting first blood. Then Lyra and both Lyra came down and Hootie TP'd, but it was just a 1-for-1 to get it Xmithy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I think they were set to do pretty well with kind of how their comps were going to be.
Yep.
But what was going to be worth after wasting a TP and coming down for a 1v1 when it was only a 3v4 really? And 25 minutes in, Hoonie struggled after that.
Mm-hmm.
And with Xmithy's gank, he killed Piglet, and Piglet didn't get a chance to do anything after that. And I think it just kind of rolled from there. I think the biggest LCS big plays was the fourth dragon fight. It was kind of a, I don't know, probably 4v4-ish. And, they made it look like, Jensen was the god, but Core JJ's ult literally hit every single person.
Mm-hmm.
And Jensen just hit Q like 3 times and
did.
everybody died. And it was insane.
And I put on, like, a note around that I had was Aatrox is really good, or Jensen's really good, or both, or Team Liquid's good.
Right.
And I was like, it just like that fight was, yeah, he hit his ult on like at least 3 or 4 people on that team, and then it was Core JJ pressed Q and leaped in and knocked up 3 people with his Q.
Yeah.
And had I think he had 2 people in the sweet spot, which just does stupid damage, and they just roll from there. And the note I made of this game was like, TL wins the fight, gets kills, and they ended up getting a Baron, and then they just ran it down and won the game. And it was a 36-minute long game, but like for me, I was like, Liquid's been in control this whole time, and it feels like it's been pretty quick. I was like, for a 36-minute game, this feels like it was a 16-minute game. Like,
yeah, and I noticed, after that, probably 5th or 6th dragon, I looked down. It was 33 minutes. Every single person on Team Liquid had a vision score over 40.
Yep, they did.
And that like blew my mind.
And this was the second game that I mentioned, like we mentioned earlier, of the game where like Ale or whoever, Core JJ, had like an 85 CS score or vision score, something stupid high. And I said that there was one game where the jungler had a higher vision score than anyone else in the game, and this was it.
Yep.
Lyra had a stupid high fucking vision score, and I looked at the scoreboard, and like, I mean, granted, it was only like 4 points higher than his support, but either way, why does a jungler have a vision score that high? Like, I gotta give mad props to him for that, because that's just like, I don't know if it's Lyra doing exceptionally well at vision control, or if it's just on the flip side where the support's just not doing as great as he probably should be. I don't know where that fault lies, but I gotta give mad props to Lyra for that, because that was impressive. Like, I was really confused and perplexed when I looked down. I was like, what? Why? What? Okay. Even in the sense of, like, not only does he have a highest vision score on his team, but the fact that he had a higher score than everyone else on Liquid as well.
Yep. He did something right.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing, but he was doing it well.
Liquid, I mean, just retrospect, like, not only, is everyone placing wards and they're all playing as a team, like, all of them with that 40 vision at 35 minutes, that shows you how well of a team they're working together.
Yeah.
They're all focused on, warding Baron, we're going to go there in 3 minutes.
Yep.
Or ward this, we're going to go there in 2 minutes.
And
or get vision here because the he might be here or whatever. Like,
yeah.
They're all hand in hand. All 5 people are on the same page the entire game.
And that's a benefit of having Core
That's how they
JJ,
win.
I think.
Yep.
Like, Doublelift has said in his interview that, like, it's so nice having Core JJ now, because he doesn't have to worry about shot calling and objective control and rotations, because now he can just focus on his gameplay, because he has a world champion support next to him that can make all these decisions and be like, yep, okay, this is what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, that was a fun game to watch. Just Team Liquid, from start to finish, prove they're number one, show why they're number one.
Yep. And I think,
Granted, it wasn't against a number 2 team
right.
or a top tier team. I mean, it's against a struggling Clutch.
I mean, they started out really well. Like, everyone thought, all of a sudden, like, oh, is Clutch the new, are they going to be the competition for Liquid? Obviously not. They had some faults that really shone through in this game. I gave a lot of praise to DeMonte last week, and I still think DeMonte's doing really well. I still really like his playstyle, and I like what he's doing in his environment, but it's just hard to play against Liquid because Liquid's so good. And they did an interview with Xmithy after the game, and I kind of just, like, I sat back and I was just kind of thinking about where Xmithy's gone over his career, and he's always just kind of been, like, a jungler that was just there, or just kind of around. But now that he's on Liquid, he's doing super good because he's surrounded by a super good team, which just makes me think that Xmithy's just a product of his environment. Like, he's always been a good jungler. He's always been kind of a scapegoat for teams because everyone always has to blame somebody. Like, okay, like CLG, like when he was on CLG, everyone flamed Xmithy because, like, he just wasn't cutting it, when really is probably just the rest of CLG just wasn't that good. But now that he's on Liquid, like, he's reached a level of play that he's never been at, or that he's never been able to sustain because of the rest of the team around him. And Liquid's roster is stacked, so it's really easy for him to succeed. And I love to see it.
No, don't take it the wrong way, but I mean, he's got it made. I was gonna say, he's got it easy, but he does have it made. He's around, and a mass amount of talent, and to be able to just kind of walk in and do his thing, and he doesn't have to do anything either. Same thing with Double Lift.
Yep.
They're all kind of made for each other, where they can just kind of do their thing and communicate as to what they're doing.
North America's made a powerhouse.
Yep.
And it's about time. Now we just need to see it transfer to international play.
For real. Yep.
So the next game was the only game I got wrong on this prediction.
Yep.
Because I put a lot more faith in TSM and Broken Blade.
And they did not show up to this game one bit.
Pobelter did.
Awful. Yes, he did.
And Wild Turtle did. And, like, one thing that I noticed in this, and when I say in this, I mean after the game, like, because Avali interviewed Wild Turtle after the game, and just, like, the interaction with him and his big doofy fucking smile, I was just sitting here grinning, like, I was just smiling myself watching the interview. I was like, man, I really miss Wild Turtle being in the spotlight. Like, he's such a good person, like, and I hated Wild Turtle back in the day because he was on TSM, and TSM was always better than CLG, but it was like,
yep, we were.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, still, shut up.
Yeah. You just can't hate Turtle.
You really can't.
It's just impossible. He's just down to earth. He's there just doing his job, just having fun.
And I'd like, with, they had Sven on Ezreal, right?
Yep.
And Bjergsen had a huge CS lead, like up through like 18 minutes. He was up 20 CS. But they had the kill lead and they had a tower, but they were still down 3,000 gold. Even with the Kleptomancy Ezreal, which is never really happens because Klepto Ezreal always secures at least like a 500 or 600 gold lead on his lane opponent alone, plus a CS lead, plus the kill advantage, plus the tower, first tower. Like, every sign there points that TSM should be in control of this game, but they just weren't. FlyQuest just did better. And I'd like to give the credit to the Pobelter. And like, I gave Pobelter the MVP of this game for his Baron steal, and like at the end of the game when they got Baron, or TSM did, and He was stopping all the ports back while Viper just left. Like, it was a team fight 5v5, and I thought it was a 4v5 because I wasn't paying attention. I had to go back and watch the fight like 4 times. I was like, where did Viper go? Like, at what point was he not there? Was he not there the whole time? Like, what happened? And I realized at some point, Viper just stopped fighting, turned around, walked away, and then teleported bot. And I was like, oh,
Yep.
it was
crazy.
as simple as that. And just won the game. That was it.
Right. And, my early game, note was the comps are completely consistent. You got a tank, you got a poke, you got DPS, and you got scaling. It's all going to come down to who wins the early game. And literally, FlyQuest got like 3 kills, and it was done.
Mm-hmm.
It just snowballed after that, and TSM couldn't do anything to it.
Smoothie really did not play very well that game.
Acadian and Smoothie were in the wrong places trying to make too many plays, and they just got punished.
And
Pobelter, Pobelter won it for him.
he did. He
Especially
really
with
did.
that smite play, that was cool.
He did, he had like 600 damage a minute. He did a third of the team damage for his team, and he had over a third of the team's kills. Which is not saying a lot, because a lot of the teams really don't get that many kills in games. But the note I made in this game was that Acadian and Santorin weren't even the best smiters in this game, because Pobelter picked up the smite and went in and stole the, you have 2 junglers in the Baron pit, and Zoe just presses R in and steals it with her own smite that she just picked up from God knows where, and just is back out. It's like,
Thanks, bye.
What just happened? How did 2 junglers miss smite and a mid laner got it?
It's crazy.
Pobelter really earned that victory, though. Like, he did really well. Bjergsen did very well on his own. Like, I'd say Bjergsen won in lane, but it was like you win lane, lose game. Aatrox is really good.
Aatrox is stupid.
Aatrox is on the list.
Cool. Last but not least.
I did not have an MVP for this game because apparently I forgot. Darshan. I'm gonna go with Darshan because he got Scion again. And just doesn't die.
I didn't either. I was probably falling asleep again.
I think this was the last game, yeah.
This game was so boring that my note is I literally don't even know what CLG did to win this game.
Let's see.
And they didn't even secure the win yet. I know they're gonna win, but I don't know how.
My first note was that Darshan got Scion, which is probably bad if he gets 3 items. And they targeted Niski in all of their bans, which I think says a lot about Niski's either says a lot about Niski's potential or their confidence in PoE. Like, it either means Niski's really good, or they just don't have a lot of faith that PoE can beat Niski on his own playing field. Another thing, like you said this earlier, you don't know why people are picking Victor, even top lane. This is the point where I brought that out. I was like, why are people playing Victor into Scion? Like, I don't think it's a good idea, but at the end of the game, Scion always does better because he has items. Stix-A did his thing because of Klepto. He had a gold lead the whole time over Kaisa and Sneaky. Licorice had a CS lead, which is the advantage of Victor into Scion. He always gets a CS lead. Scion's usually always forced to farm under tower.
Yeah, for sure.
Top to bottom, they had a CS lead everywhere. Cloud9 did.
He had a CS lead. I mean, like I said, I literally couldn't figure out what CLG was doing to win the game. And then I looked down, it was 30 minutes, and they had every single dragon. That was 5 dragons.
That was another game where the 6th dragon appeared and CLG got it. And I was like, well, okay. Well, here we're doing this again. Through the early to mid game, like, CLG got all of the control. And then, like, for some reason, Zillion was split pushing. And I was like, he can push really fast. He has a pretty quick clear with his bombs. And especially with CDR. But it was like, with his kit, why is Zillion split pushing, like consistently split pushing and not with the team? Like, why is he pushing 2 or 3 different waves into a tier 2 tower? Why is he not with a team that are losing team fights when he could, resurrect somebody? Like, that didn't make any sense to me. But Stixay,
I think you're right, in saying that Darshan got his lead and was able to keep it. He was the tank. Um, you know, but I think the overall, like, the comp just worked best.
I mean,
You have Biofrost, you can save Stixay. You have Power Reveal, you can save anyone. You
yeah,
have Darshan do it, that can literally just live through anything.
yep, he can just
Um,
like
and then Stixay, just, poke and poke and poke and poke and poke.
Stixay did like 1,000 damage a minute and did almost
Yeah.
he did half of the team damage. Like Stixay did what he had to do.
That's
And
why they won.
they
and
used
again, they had
Darshan-
6 dragons.
They used Darshan as a walking ward. Like if they didn't have
Yep.
vision, they're like, "Hey Darshan, go check this out, and we're gonna be right behind you, buddy." And that's what happened. Because he can face check, and then if there's someone there, if there's 1 or 2 people there, well now there's 4 CLG people turning this corner because they're all here. And it's like, okay, shit. So maybe Stixay could have got MVP for that. He did a lot of damage, but it's really good to have a sort of consistency of Darshan in the top. Like, I think it's Xmithy. He's played 4 games of Lee Sin this split. Like, he's played 4 or 4 on Lee Sin, and it's just, he's consistent, and they win, and it works. And Darshan played 2 Scion games this weekend, and they won 2 games this weekend, and it works. Like, it's not, what? Why change? Like, maybe CLG found something. Put Darshan on Scion, and we win.
Could be.
That's what I'd love to see. I'd love to see CLG win.
Except maybe not, because spoiler, Scion gets nerfed.
Well, a little bit. He doesn't get nerfed too much. Because he doesn't have to do damage. He can still, like, his W cooldown, like, his early game's going to be a little bit worse. But he still has the same CC, and he's still got the scaling of health and items. But it might change a little bit with the itemization changes that are coming, since it's going to be a whole new wave of bot lane. Like, every bot lane, anything that you thought you knew is going to change because of the item changes with crit items coming back. So I look forward
Doesn't faze me.
Yeah. I look forward to
Either
seeing
way.
people come back. Like, more playmaking capability ADCs, like Tristana or Jinx or, people like Xayah, Sivir. I mean, Sivir played, Xayah played already. The crit item of Lucian, maybe like, crit Jhin or whatever. Like, people that are more oriented, like Caitlyn. Caitlyn's made a couple appearances in the LCS, but I'm excited to see a bigger variety of ADCs than watching Ezreal stack tiers for 35 minutes.
Yep, for sure.
And
So,
Akali's gone. Like, that's it. After this update, 9.3 hits, she's done.
Biscuit power ranking.
I'll get there.
Whoops.
That's fine.
It's pretty top to bottom, though.
Yeah, I mean, you already did the transfer from that to the patch notes, so I'm just gonna roll with the patch notes.
That's fine.
Yeah, Akali is gone. With her Q nerf, she doesn't heal anymore. You can see her under tower now, even if she's in her shroud. They nerfed her early game to an extent, but they also adjusted so that she does a little bit more damage off of her Q without healing, which now is going to make the, like, Vamp Scepter, Hextech, or whatever, more critical to her build. And they did the same principle with Aatrox. Since with his adjustment, he no longer has his dashes stack.
Yep.
And that cooldown, I think, increased as well. And he's now getting a sustain nerf, a built-in sustain nerf, his lifesteal, which is going to make, I think, Aatrox is still going to be relevant. He's still going to make appearances, but now it's going to be more of a priority into things like a Death's Dance or a Vamp Scepter item of some sort, where it's going to be kind of like a lifesteal type Renekton or Fiora build with a bit more, like, the bruiser of Renekton with the lifesteal of Fiora, I think, is kind of the mesh point that Aatrox is going to be at. Because I think he's still really strong. and he's still on the list.
Yep.
Cassiopeia might get out of the permanent ban phase with her adjustments. She might make a couple appearances in the LCS because I don't think she's going to be a high priority ban anymore based off of those changes. And I think Aurelia is maybe going to not appear anymore. I mean, she only made a couple appearances, but I don't think she's really going to come back, especially with her W adjustment. That's a huge change to where it now reduces 50% of the physical damage incoming, but it doesn't refute any magic damage incoming at all anymore. So I think that's a huge change that's just gonna put her in the dirt as far as LCS play goes. I'm sure she'll still appear in Iron and Bronze, but I think she's done in the LCS.
Of course. Obviously, Camille's done. They might keep her top lane, but she won't be a jungler because, well, they took away the stun. Probably the whole reason she was in there.
I think her E stun on minions and monsters was a pretty good help. I don't know if it's going to completely kill her off in the jungle, especially if a team manages to get like a Galio and Camille stack, where
True.
and it doesn't even have to be a Camille jungle. Like, it could be a Camille top lane, but if you manage to get a Camille R into a Galio R, it's just a really good combo. Like,
Yep.
it's a surefire. The AoE is virtually the same, so it's not a bad combination to have. So I think she might make less of an appearance in the jungle, but I still think that she could be around. She didn't really change a whole lot more. And I like that new item, the Spear of Shojin, that basically is going to give the old Essence Reaver passive. They reinvigorated it into this new item that gives 80 health and CDR. It's kind of like another Black Cleaver, more or less, with a little bit of lifesteal built in or something, or whatever the old Essence Reaver did, the passive of auto attacks and stuff. I forgot. I read it, but I completely forgot the exact alteration that it does. But I think it's going to be really good for melee bruisers, which is exactly what everyone plays top anyways. So it's going to be an item that probably appears. And I don't know if we're going to be on 9.3 this weekend or not. I really don't care. But eventually it's going to come around. And I think the Phantom Dancer change is going to make a good fourth item for ADCs. Or they're just going to build... Like, they don't have to rush. Like, a Hex Drinker that normally does... Like, Phantom Dancer... I don't know if you read this or not, but Phantom Dancer gives... at 30%... Once you break that 30% health remaining threshold, you get a small shield for X amount of health. That's basically like a Hex Drinker Magic Shield, or Camille's passive. And they are using it for marksmen to have a better defensive item without losing the functionality or the capability of a damage item. They're trying to make it better for them, which I think is good. Probably a good third or fourth item, because I don't think none of the components of it actually give that shield. Like, you have to finish the Phantom Dancer in order to get that passive, but I think that'll help a lot for the crit champions, because I can't wait for them to come back. I'm tired of these 2-0 and 4 Ezreals at 40 minutes. I'm ready for some kills, okay? I want the Bronze Wars to appear into LCS. I'm tired of boring fucking games. As the Cleveland Browns fan would say, I'm fucking tired of fucking losing. That's my favorite video of all time.
Rip.
So, hopefully with more kills coming around, teams will change up a little bit. We'll be able to see some more advantages. 100 Thieves bot lane might be able to come out where Bang can actually kill some people. But for now,
nice.
100 Thieves is at the bottom of the barrel, at least for me. I mean, they're not like Golden Guardians bottom of the barrel, but I have them way down there.
Yep. Well, I still have them at third to last, but they're struggling.
I bumped them down from...
I probably should have.
I'll get to the bottom in a minute. The implied and obvious number 1 seed of Team Liquid. Wow, shocked. Ooh, wow, amazing.
Boo.
Second place, I agree with you this week. I didn't last week, but now I agree. FlyQuest is in second.
FlyQuest, baby.
Even with their loss to CLG, I moved them up 2 places. I put them at number 2. Beyond that, everything we have one more match in our power rankings. So I still have Cloud9 up there. They're still on my number 3 spot. I only moved them down 1. And you did not give Cloud9 that much credit at all.
Oh, I still don't think they look good. I don't know, maybe 6 is a little too low, but
I still have faith.
quite honestly, between 4th and 6th, they're all the same.
Like 3rd and 7th.
They're all the same team.
3rd and 7th are all
Right
the
at
same.
5th. Same thing.
Yeah. So you had Clutch at number 3.
Yep.
Why?
Because I mean, they're still really strong for 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had a rough week last week, but I don't think they just all of a sudden forgot how to play and forgot how to be as a team. So I'm not going to drop them.
Yep.
5 rankings for no reason. Like the BCS would.
Welcome to the
Assholes.
BCS. It's me. I dropped Clutch a lot. The next one was the one that we did have matching. I still have my 3rd place. Okay, I'm going to give Cloud9 the credit and benefit of the doubt. I'm going to explain that one a little bit. I still think that Niski has a lot of potential. He popped off against Golden Guardians, one of the best teams in the league. He went 5-0. Wow.
Yeah. The best.
Cloud9, I think, did perform very well against Golden Guardians, which is not saying a lot, but, you know. And they did okay against CLG for the first 10 minutes. But, and they had a good, solid lead on their individual players. But then CLG decided they were going to get 6 dragons and win the game.
Yes, they did.
So Svenskeren kind of dropped off a little bit, but I still got to give them at least a little bit because they still have Licorice. Niski's coming around, I think, very well. Sneaky's still sneaky. I still don't like Zazal, but that's, you know, whatever.
Same.
That's neither here nor there.
He's a boring sport.
Next game, TSM. Not in the game, but team. Solo mid. Yep. 4th. I moved him up 1 spot. Congratulations, you made it to 4th. You're now the Team Liquid of the LCS. You're forever 4th.
Probably.
I have a lot of faith in Broken Blade. I think he's going to do very well, but I think he needs to get his life under control because he's a little hit or miss, inconsistent. Like I compared him to Huni to an extent. I think he's got a lot of potential, and his team, the Royal Youth in the Turkish League, are in 1st place, by the way, in case you were wondering. They're still doing okay without him. So I don't know if that says anything about him, but I like him. I think he has good. I'm ready to see a top laner carry the LCS again because I missed Iris. I'm not gonna lie.
Rest in peace, Iris. Yeah, for sure.
Next,
Were
I
you at
had
4th.
Yeah, I had them 4th.
Yep, TSM 4th.
Yep. Next, I had my big mover going up the rankings this week. I had Optic. After putting them 8th last week, I have them up to 5 this week. Because they're holding their own, I guess. They're doing middle of the pack. They went 1-1 week 1 and went 1-1 week 2. So they're doing okay.
Yep.
And now they're getting Arrow back. So I think things are on the uphill, assuming the synergy still works, everything goes well.
Yeah, I agree with that, but, I'm not voting for the future, I'm voting for where they're at now.
Yeah. I think they have potential with Arrow. And our 5 and 6 are just a flip-flop. Like, you have Fox and then Optic, I have Optic and then Echo Fox. Like,
right, and I just switched them last week anyway, because, Fox played a lot better past week.
Yeah, I moved Echo Fox up 1 from 7 to 6. Like you said, 5, 6, and 7, that's all the same team. Like they all played each other, and they all like took one game off each other. Like Optic beat
Nothing
Echo Fox, and then
fixed.
CG beat Fox, and it's like, what? All right, whatever. This doesn't make any sense. I think Echo Fox has an okay team. Really not too impressed. I think they have Apollo and Hakuho.
Yep.
And they played very well against Optic, but their bot lane is their most consistent. Rush is pretty hit or miss. Phoenix is just, he's either going to get 6 kills or he's going to get no kills.
Yep.
And I don't know what
I
Solo's doing.
hate Rush. Rush sucks.
He's yeah. Not much to say about that. I put Clutch in 7th. I'm the BCS. I dropped them 4 places from 3rd to 7.
That's fine. I lost 2 games.
Yeah. After what I
Nerf 'em.
thought, I gave him too much credit. I overreacted in week 1. I was
Yep.
like, Clutch Gaming is the team. They're gonna be up there, and Demonte's
Not.
gonna be the guy. He's gonna be the MVP of the split, and he's gonna be amazing. And that was my hot take of last week. And well, we see where that got us.
Lasted long.
7th place.
Thanks, Skip Bayless.
Are you comparing me to Skip Bayless right now?
Yep.
I'm flattered. Thank you.
Flattered.
My
I'm happy about that one.
another good improvement I had this week was CLG. I put them
Yep.
up,
He looked
8th.
a lot better this week. And I'm happy for him.
and they gave in one of the interviews that they had, Stixay had with Travis Gafford, said the team is coming together significantly well, and Irene, their strategist coach, who'd come over from Korea like 2.5 weeks ago, he really didn't know exactly what was North America League of Legends. And the way Stixay put it is that Irene's now figured out the meta and the status of the LCS and like who is doing what and the teams who play what champions and what's good. And it's only going to get better from here. And if they manage to do this in a week, where they just turned around and they played FlyQuest and C9, who are arguably like the 2 top teams, or 2 of the top teams in the LCS, then I think good things are coming around for CLG.
For sure.
I hope
They have a lot of potential.
they do. You had 100 Thieves there. I put our CLG 100 Thieves were just swapped. I had 100 Thieves at 9 because, boy, they need to figure something out.
Yes, they do.
Yikes. That's all I gotta say about that.
And then GG for the
And then
GGs.
forever 10th, Golden Guardians. So,
Mr. Irrelevant.
speaking of 100 Thieves figuring something out, they start off week 3. They kick off the action against Clutch Gaming, who just came off an O2 week. A little bit questionable. 100 Thieves trying to figure their stuff out, trying to get that language barrier in bot lane figured out. Obviously, I think it was a little bit better this week versus last week, where they was like their first game on stage with everybody. I think they're getting better. Probably has said that their season has started slower than they expected, but it's time to get, like, now is the time to get the ball rolling, to get everything figured out, and how to get Bang learning how to play better with the team. And ultimately, their end goal is to overtake Doublelift and Core JJ as, quote, king of the bot lane with Bang and Aframu. It's going to be hard. No, it's not an easy goal at all, but, set the bar high. I respect that. Who do you think in this game, 100 Thieves, where they're trying to figure out what's going on, versus Clutch Gaming, where they started out immaculately well and then dropped both games last week? Who's got more to play for here, and who has more to lose?
I think 100 Thieves have more to play for, because, they've got people that have changed around, trying to make this team mesh. And on the flip side, CG's just... it's kind of the same retrospect, but I feel like 100 Thieves kind of has more heart into it.
Uh-huh.
So my heart says that 100 Thieves should win.
Yep.
They'll be playing for it, but I think that CG is going to win.
So I can understand that. I'm gonna go off the blind faith of no bias whatsoever that 100 Thieves is gonna take this game. There's no reason that I would think that at all. Oh fuck! I hit my microphone. But that's neither here nor there. The next game I have as my matchup of the week with potential first place caliber. Maybe not now, but definitely by the end of the season, I think both of these teams could be in a position where they find themselves battling it out for first place. Xmithy said in his interview that he genuinely believes with Travis Gafford. He said he genuinely believes that there is a chance that Team Liquid goes undefeated this split, and it absolutely could happen.
Yep.
But
I think this
any
game
given
is
weekend,
gonna hold on to it.
yeah, any given weekend, any team could show up and just play their hearts out
Right.
and just stomp Liquid, or Liquid could just not show up and just shit the bed. But
Shit happens all the time.
I think that the winner of this game will have a head-to-head tiebreaker and will take first place of the league. I mean, even if it's Liquid goes 5-0 at this point, then they're still obviously in first. But if FlyQuest manages to pull this off, which I'd love to see it, I'd really love to see Wild Turtle back on top of the leaderboard again. I said it already. I miss that man. His smile is infectious.
Yep.
You think? How good do you think this game's gonna be? I mean,
I think it's gonna be a really fought out game. I think it depends on, like I said, for week one. I think it depends on the powerhouse between Santorin, Pobelter, and Wild Turtle of carrying their team.
And those are three good players. Like they absolutely have the capability to do so.
They're gonna be the half the players that they have to punish Team Liquid. They're gonna have to make the plays, catch Team Liquid out of what they're doing as a total 5 on Team Liquid. I think it'll be a really interesting game. With depending on patch notes, or not patch notes, but which patch they're on, it could matter. I think Team Liquid will still win, but I think it'll be a very well fought game. Oh sure.
No. Question from the fans. Faker is not North America yet. He's not going to be, ever. Sorry. Until he decides to quit playing professionally and become a streamer, where he might doubtfully come to North America. I'm on the opposite side of the boat as you. I think this game is going to come down to the top lane and the support. I think Jensen's got the advantage mid lane. I think Pobelter's a little bit not as good as he used to be. Santorin's still a decent jungler as far as objective control goes. I think Xmithy's just really good at it, especially if he plays Lee Sin. Like, that man is everywhere. And ward hopping is already boosting your vision control as it is. I think Xmithy has an objective advantage. Santorin could certainly give him a run for his money for it. I love the matchup of Double Lift and Wild Turtle coming back. It's, the days of old, CLG and TSM. It's about time that Double Lift comes out on top of that matchup. But I think the difference here is Impact really has not impressed me that much this season. He's been pretty, comparatively of the Team Liquid roster, he's been pretty, all right. Which is not saying a lot because everyone on Team Liquid is really good. But I think Impact has been their weakest link. And if Viper decides that this is the week where he's going to play a champion and it really shows up, then I think he could spread the impact, no pun intended, of his play around the map, and he could really help out Pobelter against Jensen or help Santorin out against Xmithy in the jungle in the vision control. And then Core JJ is a god, but I think JJ's a little bit under the radar. Like, you gave him so much credit for his vision score in their first game this week. Like,
yep.
JJ's a really good support that just, he does what he needs to do as a support to support his team. Core JJ is a little bit more flashy in his support, where he makes plays and he sets his team up to clean up and get kills. And that's why Liquid's really not afraid of getting their hands dirty, like Double has said. Like they can do that because Core JJ sets them up for that capability. So I think that game is going to come down to the top lane and the support impact matchup of the week, and I still pick Liquid to win.
That kind of goes hand in hand of how are they going to play into the fact of kind of what I said. Your power 3 on FlyQuest. They're the one that's going to have to do what needs to be done, but how can the other two fit in and make those picks? And yeah, I could agree.
Performance enhancing drugs, nice. That's my matchup of the week for the first place caliber. I still give the win to Liquid. I'd like to believe that FlyQuest could win that game. I don't think Liquid's gonna lose, because I think Liquid is gonna have to lose the game more than FlyQuest would have to win it.
Yeah.
And then middle of the pack matchups for the rest of the day, except for Golden Guardians. TSM and Cloud9, which is just age old. They do what they do. TSM's pretty hit or miss right now. Cloud9's pretty hit or miss right now. Both their rosters have their own question marks. But
Page TSM, but honestly, it'll go either way.
It really could go.
Depends on who shows up and what transpires comp wise.
Yeah, it really could go either way. I'm inherently just going to give the edge to Cloud9. Whatever. Coin toss. Bring back the coin toss. Was that like season 7 or something, where they just flip a coin? CLG and Echo Fox. Another middle of the pack game. CLG starting to figure their stuff out. Echo Fox started out 1-1. They went 1-1 last week. Pretty consistently 1-1. So if Echo Fox goes 1-1, is this the game they lose or win? Second game's against FlyQuest. Bueller.
Echo Fox. Let's see.
So we're just going to assume Echo Fox is going to go 1-1 again.
Yes.
Is this the game they win or lose?
I think they'll win.
Okay.
I think they'll win this one, because I think CLG will go 1-1 as well. As they play 100 Thieves on Sunday.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's still an improvement. Not an 0-2. It's good. And then 10th place versus Optic. Why does Optic win?
Why does Optic win? Any reason?
I'm going to give a one-word answer to why Optic wins. Arrow.
Is it Arrow?
So
Yep.
this is a warm-up game for Arrow. Where he's like, it's his first game on stage this season. He's going to come in. His visa's okay. And it's still, they said last week in their post-game interview that Arrow would be starting. It's still not confirmed whether or not he will be. But if he does, this is his warm-up game. And boy, you could not ask for a better warm-up game. Like, if you want to get an ADC into shape for on stage, this is the one to do it. Day 2.
Fox versus FlyQuest.
So,
I think no matter what happens on Saturday, FlyQuest comes in and just wreaks havoc.
okay.
I don't think, if they lose, I think they'll come in guns a-blazing against Echo Fox. And if they win, I think they'll come in guns a-blazing, with the same fire and
So
feel to kick some ass.
no matter the result of Saturday's matchup, FlyQuest is coming in at full speed.
Yep.
Because they're going to be either motivated off their game from Liquid, where they lost, or they're going to be motivated off a win against the greatest team in North America right now.
Yep.
I think FlyQuest have better solo lanes than Echo Fox, Wild Turtle looked really good this past weekend, like the old Wild Turtle. Echo Fox has the consistency. Apollo and Hakuho are, like I said earlier, they are the rock of this team, and they are the best two players. Like they mesh well, and they've done well in every matchup so far. I just think that FlyQuest top to bottom have a better chance, because if someone just doesn't do what they need to do, then someone else will to pick up the slack. More middle of the pack games. I mean, granted, I have Cloud9 at top 3, but records show middle of the pack. Clutch Gaming started really well, like I said, with a 2-0. They opened up the week against 100 Thieves, which could be a hit or miss. Like, it really could. If 100 Thieves have figured their stuff out, then Clutch might be in a little bit of trouble to fall to a losing record. But they're both. This is another one of those games where it's just a team trying to distinguish themselves in the middle of the pack. Like,
sure. And I think it depends on Saturday's games. More so the TSM C9 game.
Yes.
I think if C9 wins against TSM, I think they'll lose against CG. I think they'll go 1-1 regardless.
Rewind that. Say that again. If TSM wins against C9, what?
If they win,
Uh-huh.
I think they'll lose.
You think Cloud9, if Cloud9 wins Saturday,
I think
they
Cloud9
lose
regardless
Sunday.
goes 1-1.
Okay.
The week.
I can see that.
I don't think that Clutch, I don't think their game versus 100 Thieves will have any effect on the second game.
And I realized before, while we were preparing for this, I was doing my predictions of who would win what, and I realized I skipped this one because it was a toss-up game that I couldn't decide, and I never went back and actually picked a team to win. I think both these teams are going to 1-1, but I don't know which team is going to win what day. That's all I got to say.
Yep.
Liquid and Optic. In what alternate universe, what has to happen for Team Liquid to not win this game? Even with the hypothetical scenario that Crown is in mid lane, which he
lose
will be.
bot lane.
Arrow plays, and Dokla is playing still, and either maybe Meteos makes his first LCS appearance this season since Arrow's now appearing. Maybe they put Meteos back in. Do you think, even with Crown, Arrow, Dokla, and Meteos, their 4 original starters, do you think that's enough for Liquid?
I think it's possible. Because, I mean, if that were to happen, maybe not necessarily day one, like Saturday, but if they sub in on Sunday, I think it's very possible because Liquid will have no odds to look off of.
So, follow up to it, who has the better advantage of potential play? Do you think Meteos or Dardoch is the better choice for them to play?
I haven't seen Meteos play the last couple years. I really don't know. Dardoch has played really freaking well these last 2 weeks.
He has. He's.
So I'm not sure. I don't know. Meteos brings a lot of knowledge to the game. If he has a cum shot, then he'll be good.
Thank you, Addison, for your input.
What time game starts?
The viewer question, or viewer answer, of how Liquid loses this. Liquid has to forget what time the game starts. That's how they lose. They just forget to show up. So, this is a rematch, too, between Crown and Jensen, because last year at Worlds, when Jensen was still on Cloud9, they pub stomped Crown. Like, they did everything they could. Like, it was like a 2 or 3v1 a lot in mid lane, and they just killed Crown time and time and time again. So, and Crown called him out. He's like, I got beef. He's like, I got time to settle the score here. So I like to see how that works out. Maybe hopefully they'll get 2 hyphy picks and something will happen more than 6 kills in a game. So Golden Guardians and TSM last place and team. Solo mid.
TSM Academy could win that game.
I think you could get a ranked 5 team from Silver and maybe win that game.
I don't. That one.
Well, Silver is the new Plat, so everyone from Plat got put in Silver.
I don't think that you would win lane against Haunter, buddy.
Oh. I'm not in, that's why I'm not in Silver, buddy. I'm in Bronze.
Shit, you're right. Yeah. Rip. You got me.
In what... So what...
I could beat Ole in like, no. That guy's boring.
That's a hot take. Jesus.
He's boring.
Okay, but doesn't mean he's not good.
All he did last year was heal double lift.
And that's all he has to do. Because double lift can do the rest.
All I have to do too.
So, hypothetically speaking, it's gonna happen. Hypothetically speaking, Golden Guardians is 0-5 entering this game. What do they have to do to get that first W?
If TSM wins the first game, then they'll lose.
Alright, so if TSM wins on Saturday...
TSM always loses to the shitty players.
So if
games.
TSM loses on or wins on Saturday,
Yeah,
then
they gonna
Golden
lose.
Guardians is gonna win this game.
Yes.
Alright. Follow up to that, does TSM...
Everyone has to go 1-1.
Everyone goes 1-1 except for Liquid.
Yep.
Does TSM have the capability to maybe use this week, since we're starting to get more games under the belt? You think this is a week that TSM starts to differentiate themselves or separate themselves from the pack?
Yeah, I think they have the capability of going 2-0. That would help a lot.
But you just said they're going to 1-1. I mean, this is as good as weekend as any to go 2-0. I mean, it's a coin toss on Saturday, but Sunday should, theoretically, knock on wood, be an easy game to win, as long as they do their job. And to finish the game on Sunday, you have 100 Thieves and CLG. 100 Thieves trying to figure their life out. Bang and Afro Moo. Huhi and Afro are now going up against their team of old, Counter Logic. Both teams are relatively struggling. CLG is starting to figure it out. 100 Thieves maybe a little bit, not so much as CLG. But this game could be some sort of preview, I think, towards the end of the season as to that cutoff line between making it to playoffs and not.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it comes down to the bot lane, and not necessarily who wins lane, but like not literally wins lane, but who wins the lane.
I think naturally, just looking at the rosters, you're going to give the edge to Bang and Afro Moo because it's
right.
Bang and Afro Moo. Who would bet against Bang and Afro Moo against Stixay and BioDaddy? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, Biofrost is okay. Stixay is pretty inconsistent, but I think this is not a matchup that you would just bet on CLG's bot lane to win inherently. I think CLG made an upgrade in their mid lane play. I don't think this meta suits Huhi very well, as you've already pointed out a couple times. I think Onda's a really good jungler and has good potential here to bully Wiggly, who is still pretty fresh. But I really look forward to the top lane matchup. I think if, like, Darshan and Someday is just, I think that's where the change is going to be, like where the deciding factor is. Because I think it's not... Bot lane is going to go to 100 Thieves. I think mid lane is going to go to CLG. Jungle is going to go to 100 Thieves. But top lane is going to be the difference because it could go either way. Darshan's a really solid, consistent player. And he could be... Hopefully he's not on someone that has to, like, Triforce late game carry. But I think that he has potential to... he can either beef it up and just run it down. Or he can, battle against Someday. They're both really good top laners. And I think that's where the difference is going to be. But who you got and why?
Find it. CLG.
You think CLG will take this?
Yep.
Does CLG have another 2-0 weekend in them to put them up there in contest for the top 3, top 4?
Very possible.
Okay.
Not likely, but possible.
I mean, they're playing Echo Fox and 100 Thieves, so the two middle of the pack teams and 100 Thieves, who's on the lower echelon of that. It's very possible. It's very plausible to do so, I think. Am I missing anything? Have we covered everything that happened in week 2 and the previews for
We
week
done
3?
did it.
It only took a little bit longer this time. This is
Right?
almost 2 hours. I'm gonna go. We're going to the boards, and we're gonna do some stuff here real quick, and we're gonna see what's going on in the world. Mind you, this is going to be a PG show where we're gonna curse occasionally. No, it's gonna be R because we've already said fuck more than once. So welcome to the Apex Legends chat. We're gonna do some stuff here. Hi, welcome to the League Stuff episode 2. How are you guys?
Hello.
Oh, Trevor, I'm hearing you twice. This is nuts.
Maybe you should
Yeah, this is
mute the
wild.
stream, idiots.
The stream's
Why?
still going on my fucking.
It's because I'm still streaming, and you guys are now on the show. You are guests.
Oh,
You are guests. Welcome.
Whoops. Think I hung up.
Hello.
hello. Hold on.
By that
Hold on,
I
I'm
mean I
walking
hit
out
stop
so I can
recording on
fucking.
accident.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, I muted the stream.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Welcome,
I'm ready
guys.
to have an interview.
Okay. Yeah. How have you been watching the whole thing?
Yeah, everything. I've seen all of it.
Okay, I don't believe you, but give me some input. What do you have to say about anything? Well, you have any input based off of besides what Team Liquid has to do to lose?
Well, I mean, I know Liquid. All they have to do is show up. But honestly, like, I haven't played League very seriously in a while. And so I've just been pretty nostalgic watching fucking Turtle back in the business. Like season 3 was whenever like I really got into League the most. So
You weren't
just
even
seeing
good then.
Turtle out there.
Dude, I feel.
Yeah.
Oh god, I need to mute the stream too. Help!
What? You've had ample opportunity to do so.
I'm trying to win.
Hello?
Okay, I got it. I fixed the thing.
It's going.
I have to poop.
Can I help you?
I did that already.
Huh? Oh, hi.
Oh,
Nice.
that's my pots.
Can I have one?
Okay, was there a question for me, or I was I
same-
listening?
Same thing, go ahead.
What are your
What do you got?
inputs?
Yeah, go for it.
You have a bottle opener?
Thoughts on the show, notes on the
Okay,
show,
thank you.
or about
Uh,
League or LCS.
Hey, anything.
I liked
Fuck.
how it was set up.
Okay.
As in, you guys had all your notes ready, and it seemed pretty organized.
Oh, Jesus.
In
Thank you.
general, I mean, you guys had
You
a
would think.
good.
You
Seemed
literally,
like just flash calling.
you literally could have been here. Like, I gave you every opportunity. I invited you. And you just didn't show.
We're schooling noobs in League.
Yeah, okay.
Dude, we're Leona Draven bot lane. You don't just not school people. In
Well, I
Leona
can't believe I
Draven
wasn't
bot lane.
Better hope you cash in.
This is horseshit. Yeah, don't play like Deftly, trash.
We were considering waiting, and because we thought you guys were, or we were wondering if you
Is
guys were
that
close to done, but we weren't sure, so we just started one. Also, it sounded like you were getting
We're
into
starting.
more discussion,
this
so I was
is-
like, okay, we'll let them do their thing.
This is
'cause-
our wrap up here.
I think,
Bringing in the viewers.
Oh,
Um, we already had our first guest on the show. Eric came in earlier and he said butt stuff or something.
that sounds
oh,
right.
And
he
then-
said he was gonna say something that didn't start with a B but started with an N, and so I'm glad he didn't
Oh.
do that.
Yeah,
Noggin.
one I'm saying ninny on the stream. Oof.
Oh boy, I have to poop.
So I need
Nope.
Addison.
Huh?
That's you.
Yep.
Give me you probably haven't followed LCS at all, or minimal,
Right.
compared to the rest of us here. So give me one bold claim as to why Team Liquid does not finish in first place this split.
I mean, because honestly, if we think about the three states of matter, right? You know, you got solid,
Right.
liquid.
I like
and
this
gas.
answer already. I'm just gonna say.
Okay.
With gas, like gas has no chance.
Yeah, because I have
they
to
can't
poop. I'm getting
they can't stay in one place. Liquid, they've got more of a chance because they can
Okay.
kind of form to their surroundings.
Uh-huh.
But
So they adapt well to the meta. Got it?
Yeah, exactly.
Cloud9?
But solid.
Cloud9's a
Solids
gas.
are always there, always in their place, always doing the right thing. So that's why Solid's gonna take the split.
Okay.
Easy money.
Okay, so Cloud9 is a gas. They're not going to do anything. Team Liquid, they're
Accurate.
going to be okay. They're going to adapt well, but that's about it. And then
Help.
Team
So
Solid
who's
Mid.
Solid?
Okay. You go
I'm just
run,
gonna
run,
leave.
run.
Team Solid Mid.
nice.
There was actually a team called like Team Rock Solid back in like season 1.
All right, Matt, you're up.
What's up?
Before you have to go poop, give me.
I already have to go. Poop.
I mean, I know you do, but before you go poop, I want.
Before you.
Who is going to be the Spring Split MVP and why?
Spring Split BP. MVP. Fuck, I'd rather do rookie. Oh well.
Do both. Or one, I don't
fuck.
care.
No, I have to do both. Shit.
All right, so if you already have an idea for rookie, you can start thinking about MVP. Who's your rookie this split?
Broken Blade.
Okay.
If he keeps it up.
Okay.
Because he's about the only
now-
rookie.
Does he count as a rookie?
Even though
Yeah.
Did he play? He played
He's
in a
like
different
12.
he
league?
played in the Turkish league where he won 2 championships and he
Okay,
had
you
like
can't
4
sit
accounts
there,
on
Cat.
EUS.
This is my mouse pad. I
a
need
cat?
to use this.
There's a dog.
I knew you had cats.
They usually live at the farm, but we had home because it was
Right.
negative. And wind chill. It was like
I think Double Lift is gonna take this split MVP.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, yeah.
I'm gonna do you one better and say, yeah, I know. Hey, talk to them. Say hi.
Welcome to the stream, Cat. You're not invited.
Did you hear it?
I did.
Say hi.
Faintly. That's Matt throwing stuff.
Split MVP. Okay, you gotta not do whatever you're doing, buddy. I'm sorry.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just streaming a talk show.
You're doing you're doing great, sweetie.
Oh, thanks.
Colin, go.
Okay. Good lordy Morty.
All right, so we got Broken Blade as MVP of rookie. MVP. Kind of a rookie.
Uh-huh.
He's rookie to NA. That counts for something.
Rookie.
I guess.
Okay,
I
so
think-
rookie.
Medios will take Comeback Player of the Year.
I can see it.
These are the
Is
hot
that even
takes
an
I am
award?
here for, boys. Medios has
you
not
said-
started one game in the LCS.
Hey, he's starting
Might
this
not.
week.
Is he really?
So,
They've already confirmed that?
That's what he tweeted about. So
Nice. Okay.
at
glad-
least he tweeted he'll make his debut this split this week. So
I'm not surprised by that since Arrow's back, and I had this conversation with Matt. Is like, in what universe does Liquid not beat Optic, even with like Crown, Arrow, Dokla, and Meteos starting? Like they get their original starting lineup in. So I look forward to that. That'll be good to see Meteos back because I fucking love Meteos. I'm a longtime subscriber.
honestly, Medias is
Big
one of
fan.
my favorite NA players. don't
After
know.
after Snoop retired from Evil Geniuses,
Oh, that I like that guy too.
after he
Love
retired,
that guy.
it was time for me to pick someone else, and I went with good old Meteos. So,
Good choice.
Addison's
Choice,
made
my
his
friend.
choice. He's made his bold claim of the split. I'd love to hear it. I'm always about bold claims.
We know.
Yeah, you do. I couldn't start a sports talk show because you decided to quit that, so...
Dude, I'll fucking talk to you.
Whoa,
You didn't invite
language.
me. You didn't invite me to anything like you invited Colin, so don't even.
Okay,
I have material right now.
you had...
Yeah, I didn't show up because I'm the worst person
you
ever.
literally had production and intellectual property for this sports talk show with Richard, myself, and you. And you're like, fuck it, I'm out. So I don't want to hear that. So I've got Addison's shit. Matt had to poop. So Colin, we come to you.
Just put that under match prediction.
Matt,
Good order.
well, I'm going down the Discord chat. So Colin, we go to you.
What's up?
In this split, what bot lane outside of Double Lift and Core JJ and Bang and Afromu is the best one that has the greatest chance to carry their team to a top 3 finish?
Carry their team to a top 3 finish.
As an
Okay,
ADC
let
main,
me-
you should have the best capability to answer this question.
Let's see. Let me go through all the teams real quick.
That leaves you with Deathly and Ale,
Definitely all right.
Sneaky and Zazel.
Okay. Sneaky Zazel.
You can't be biased because I know you're a bitch. Sven and Smoothie.
Sven and Smoothie.
Styx A and,
I'll be as unbiased as I can.
Styx A and Biodaddy.
Say it.
Wild Turtle.
Now, is
and
this a question
JJ.
like a team? Let me try to think about it. I'm trying to ask this. Are you asking it for a team that you think, or no? Sorry, I'm trying to fight at the same time. That a bot lane, basically the bot lane themselves, carry their third base, or can.
I think
LeBlanc,
Potential.
LeBlanc.
more so asking of what bot lane could have the most impact on their team
Oh, drag.
to improve them to have a better chance at making top 3. So what bot lane has the biggest impact on their team that could propel them into a top 3?
Okay. Let's see. So, I've always really thought, Apollo and Huakuo.
Huakuo.
I love Huakuo.
I've given them a
I've
lot of
always
praise.
thought they were, yeah, I always thought they were really solid, honestly, and I'd honestly have to say they probably have one of the best chances of them basically carrying their team to
Well, no one else
a
on Echo
top 3
Fox is.
finish. Exactly, and that's why I say that, and that's why I wouldn't say like Sven Smoothie, because they have other players that will, you
Yeah.
know,
Bjergsen, Acadian, Broken Blade all have capability.
yeah, exactly. Any of the other players can also do that. Whereas, Echo Fox, I'd say Rush is maybe the other one that could, but maybe isn't as likely. Buddy, you gotta stop getting on my
Buddy.
mouse pad.
Buddy, you gotta stop.
No, don't go that way either.
Matt, are you still here?
He's pooping.
All right, well, then.
Hey, you are just causing all the havoc. What are you
All
doing?
right, boys. Hey, have fun playing Smash, all right? And thank you for joining me on League Stuff Episode 2. You're welcome. Thank you for
Thanks.
having us.
Oh, it's
Fuck
been
you
a
guys.
real pleasure, an honor, and a privilege.
Hey,
And I hope
all right, he's gone. It's over. That's it. We're done. That's it. No mas. So we spent way too long talking about way too much. Episode 2 has been all right. Hopefully I'm going to start getting some graphics packages. I'm in conversation with some people to figure that out. Because I'm too lazy to do it myself. That's why this is a poorly edited, not very edited production. So, Matt, taking a poop. Thank you for having me. Thank you for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And catch you for week 3. I'm trying to do these on Thursdays, depending on my friends' schedules, if they decide to show up or not. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I should have this either posted. Today's Friday, so I better have this done tomorrow. Yikes. If not, I can do Saturday night. That's fine. I got all day tomorrow. Anywho, week 2, league stuff. We out. Bye. Alright, so that's my outro.